is polygamy seen differently than homosexuality in the Bible? Is polygamy seen differently than homosexuality in the Bible? So the quick answer is yes. I think polygamy is seen differently than homosexuality in the Bible. And the slightly longer answer is because, think about it, polygamy was at a time in Scripture tolerated by God. And then it seems to be that maybe it isn't tolerated later on in Scripture, like in the New Testament era. But homosexual behavior, homosexual sex was never tolerated in Scripture, not from the beginning in Genesis, nor even in the New Testament. No, certainly not with Jesus, and certainly not after Jesus. So that's one way that I think that the answer is yes, polygamy is seen differently than homosexuality, because polygamy was tolerated by God. I would say condoned, but it's certainly tolerated. Whereas homosexual sex was never that way. Now, but let me offer an important clarification here about this question, because some people perceive this idea that since God was tolerant of or tolerated polygamy for a time, that this is evidence that the definition of marriage was somehow changed or it's been in flux, and therefore maybe this could lend evidence to the idea that same-sex marriage might be one day made permissible in God's kind of timeline. And I think this is mistaken for several reasons, but bottom line is that polygamy, I don't believe, if you think about what polygamy actually is, I don't think this is, it is evidence that there was a different definition for marriage. Because think about what polygamy is, right? Polygamy is still a form of man-woman marriage, right? A man and a woman come together, form a marriage contract, and they're married, right? So that's what marriage is. Well, when you have polygamy, it's just allowing a man to have multiple concurrent instances of a marriage contract. But notice, in every case, it's still a man-woman marriage, a man-woman marriage, It's just that in the case of polygamy, you have several concurrent marriage contracts. But all of them are man-woman marriages, right? Now, I'm not condoning polygamy or saying it's permissible or good or anything like that. I'm just saying that even though God tolerated it for a time in Scripture, it wasn't that he was tolerating some sort of alternate form of marital union. It was still, individual man-woman marriages, right? It wasn't like you had two men or two women or a group marriage like 3 men and 4 women or something like that. Okay. By the way, there is an article I wrote somewhat relating to this question, and it's on our website, str.org. If you just go to our website and click on the search section of our website, there's an article I wrote called "Does Old Testament Polygamy Justify Same-Sex Marriage?"